The first letter of the Hebrew alphabet is Aleph. You start with the diagonal stroke, then there's a stroke which curls around. Aleph, and it has no sound. The second letter is Beit. Start at the top again, and it has a horizontal line as well. The third letter is Gimel, starting with a hook, and notice that the strokes are diagonal. The third letter is Dalet, a horizontal stroke, a downward stroke, but notice the overhang that is left. Dalet, and it's a D sound. The next letter is Hey. It's important to leave that gap or it's another letter. So this is the letter Hey, and it's an H sound. The next letter is Vav. It's a narrow letter. Notice that the horizontal stroke at the top is narrow, and it sits on the line, like all these other letters. The next letter is Zayin, which is very much like Vav, but notice that the horizontal stroke at the top overhangs on both sides. Zayin, and it's a Z sound. The next letter is Chet, like Hey, but there's no gap. Chet, and the sound is ch at the back of the throat. The next letter is Tet, so a small horizontal stroke, and then you draw what looks like a belly. Tet, and it's a T sound. The next letter is above the line, and it's Yod, just a little angle. Yod, and it's a Y sound. The next letter is Kaph. Kaph, but when the letter Kaph is at the end of the word, there is a final form, which is like a Dalet, but it goes below the line. Kaph, and it's a K sound. The next letter is Lamed, like a lightning bolt. It sits on the top of the line, Lamed, and it's an L sound. The next letter is Mem, and it's an M sound. But when it's at the end of a word, again it has a final form, which is just a box. After Mem comes Nun, like a Vav, but it has a horizontal stroke at the bottom too. Nun, and it's an N sound. But this also has a final form, like a Vav, but it goes below the line and it slopes a little bit to the right. The next letter is Samekh, and it's an S sound. Samekh. After Samekh is Ayin. Ayin. And like Aleph, it has no sound. It sits on the top of the line. Ayin. Then we have the letter Pei, which is like a Kaph, but it has a little coat hanger in it. And it is a P sound. But when it's at the end of a word, it looks like this. After Pei is Zadeh, sitting on top of the line. And it also has a final form, which goes below the line. Then we have Qoph, which again goes below the line. Qoph, and it's a K sound. Then we have Resh, which is an R sound. Resh. And in Semitic languages we have a rolling R. And then we have the letter Sin. Notice that the dot is on the left horn because another letter has the same shape and it's Shin, but the dot is on the right horn. And finally we have the letter Tav, which again is a T sound. And that's the Hebrew alphabet.